Cool. Hi.
Hi.
For everyone listening,
Okay.
Caroline
Fine.
Kingsbury is on my podcast this week.
Hello. What's up?
um, we just talked about that it's almost 3 years ago since we've connected
Yes.
over the internet, and because
Yes.
the way I knew it was because it was just 3 years ago where I got stood up by a guy. And he broke my heart. He was like my first heartbreak. And I found your album in January 2022, which is now
No
almost three
way.
years ago. And that album was like, it's my most streamed album ever on Spotify.
Shut up. No, it is not. No, it
It
is not.
is. It is. I'll show you. Wait. Because I use Last FM.
Oh my God. Right. Oh my God. So it literally tells you.
Yes, it tells me how many times I listen to the album.
You
Give me a sec.
you've probably listened to it as much as I have just from the process of making it. So you're basically, we just need to credit you on the album now.
I've listened to it 1,145 times. Can you see it?
Oh, you were down bad. You were down bad if you were listening to that album that many times. That's insane. That is so many times. Oh, but I'm so glad that like something that I did like was there for you, because
Yeah.
I have those albums for me, when I was going through my different heartbreaks in life, and damn, that's special. Aw, I love
But
that.
also, the album covers just so much. Like, it's not even about heartbreak, but like,
I
it's
know.
like the.
Oh God, it's like it's about everything.
Yes.
It's that movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's what my
Yes.
debut album was about.
Yes. Yeah, like, wait, I'm actually curious about the statistics which year I've listened to the most. I listened to Fall in Love the most.
Oh.
Because it's like I never wanted to fall in love, and for some reason I'm in this mess
And
now.
then it did, and you're like, fuck this shit. I didn't even want to do this anyway.
Yes. Exactly. But yeah, I listened the most in 2022, and then in 2023 almost as much. And I haven't listened to it this year a lot. So I feel like I've got over
Hey,
it now.
that's good. That's
Like
good.
the
And you've
heartbreak,
moved,
not the
yes.
album.
No, you've moved on to that. You've moved on to like Alabama. I know Alabama's one of your
Yes.
favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yes.
that one's a little bit more lighthearted, even though it's still
Yes.
very sad.
Yes.
It's a little better than where Fall in Love was for you a few years ago. So
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
oh, I
So
love
I wanted
that.
to show you that because that's
I love that so much. That is so crazy. I can't even like I when people tell me things like I just don't even it doesn't even process. Like it's
yeah.
just like I'm so grateful. Like truly like cuz I just think about those albums for me, and if I had a chance to like talk to the artist who made that and be able to share that with them, it's like it's I don't know, it's so surreal. It's so surreal.
Yeah. You're welcome. I mean, thank you. And
Truly.
you're welcome.
Thank you, and you're welcome. I love that so much.
I also got the vinyl. Like I think I got the vinyl. Yeah, I have the vinyl. I don't have it here, but I have the vinyl. And I
You
have
have the
the
vinyl.
yes, and I have the Caroline Kingsbury shirt. I'm
Oh,
not
from
wearing
that
it,
album.
but
Oh,
yes.
oh my God. So the vinyl now online is going for like, I don't know. I think I saw someone trying to resell it for like $500. And I was like, oh my God. Well, we only pressed 100 of them. So,
Yeah.
that's really cool. That's so cool. Oh, I love that.
Yes. So I love the album. It's called Heaven's Just a Flight for the
It
listener who
is.
doesn't know.
It's called Heaven's Just a Flight.
And I listened to it almost everywhere except on a plane because I'm afraid exciting. I'm like, nope, can't listen to
No
this.
fucking way. Okay, I understand. I feel like listening to like Massive Escape on a plane is not the vibe. I wrote a song called Massive Escape about heartbreak, but using like like a metaphor of a plane crash. And
Yes.
yeah, definitely don't listen to that on a plane.
Yeah. So definitely wanted to show you that. Um, yeah, and I mean, it is very diverse. Like, I feel like also the things that we've both gone through, like the past 5 years, and the way like
Yeah.
the album found me. Then, like my brother also died like 5 years ago. One of my brothers. Um, always
Wait,
have to say that.
we've talked about this. I
Yes,
believe this was a long time ago. Thank you for reminding
I
me
can
because
also cut this out if you don't want it to be
no, I would
recorded.
love to talk about it
Okay.
because tomorrow's my brother's anniversary.
Oh,
His like
yes.
passing anniversary is tomorrow. Wait, so your brother passed away 5 years ago in 2019.
Yes.
Oh my God. Wow. We had this conversation a long time ago, and that's why
Yes.
I'm like just remembering this. Wow, I forgot about that. Wow. And then just like you finding my music when you found it a couple years after.
Yes.
And then wow, process. Whoa, that is crazy because in my debut album there's like a section of the album that I wrote after he passed. And
Yes.
it starts with Heaven's Just a Flight and then My Brother's Voice and Hero were like the
Yes.
three that I wrote after he passed. Um but damn, that's just so crazy the way that like our experiences
Mm-hmm.
how not alone we are in our experiences and
Yes.
how someone you don't even know across the world will listen to your song and it like lines up directly sort of with what they're experiencing. Damn, that's crazy. That's some alien stuff right there.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. It was yeah, so I found the album through I think in Fall in Love, and then I remember specifically I listened to it on a walk like in January. It was cold, freezing cold, and I was walking through my village heartbroken, be like, ugh, didn't want to fall in love, but here I am. And then Heaven's Just a Flight came on, and I remember I saw the playground and the swings, and I just ended up swinging to the song, like
That's
sitting on
beautiful.
swings. Yes,
Wow, that's so cinematic. That's
yes,
so cinematic. Okay, don't be surprised if that shows up in a music video of mine or something. That's so cute. I love
love it.
that. I love
Steal
that.
that idea. Go ahead of it. I want to see
I know. All credit to Bonnie. All credit.
it. um, yeah, yeah, the album is just great. You're great. I'm really glad we found each
Aw.
other.
Dude, same. And it's like I think this last these last 6 months of my life
Mhm.
have been pretty intense and I mean you got to be in my music community like before all of this and the fact that we're here like doing this podcast together is really special to me and I'm just so grateful that you cared, you know, even to just like reach out and ask me to do this. So this
Yeah,
is sweet. This is very special.
you were on my list like a long time already. I was
Well,
just
you know,
always
I told you
on
forever ago.
breaks.
Like we'll do it. We'll do it.
Yes, exactly. And here we are. So look at that.
And here we are. Woo.
Yeah, no. Your 2024 was insane. Like just witnessing it was because I remember I reached out to you because I wanted to do a playlist of like indie artists under
Yeah.
10K listeners, and I wanted to add you to it, and then I saw you had like 80,000, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
What happened?
I
I mean,
know.
good, but like, wow.
I know.
Yeah.
It and it's like it's from then until now even it's just been sort of like a snowball, but like going down a hill, and it just keeps going,
Yes.
and it just keeps getting bigger, and it's exciting because I've waited a really long time to be at this point where things are kind of like moving a little bit, and
Yeah.
I'm just, yeah, I mean, and this is really the beginning. And as much as like
Yes.
the last 10 years of pursuing music has been hard, it's prepared me to be my most like uh confident, self-assured self,
Yes.
version of me because I went through all of that stuff. And yeah, I mean, in the last 6 months, I've basically gone from like wanting to quit music because it was starting to feel like a money pit, which it is,
Yeah.
but also a life pit and a life suck because it was just so hard to get things made and find
Yeah.
funding or fund it myself because it costs money to make music as much as we think it's like free because we listen to it
Yeah.
online and it's free, in the sense of like a subscription, but it's like every single song costs like multi thousands of dollars to make. And so each song that um I put out, it's been a sacrifice, a big
Yeah.
sacrifice. And so I'm just really feeling so grateful right now that I have funding. I have a really great label called Music is Fun.
Yay.
I'm still a super small artist, but I'm starting to like get
Yes.
work and get gigs, and that's just what I'm doing this for, is just to go play shows, and I hope to get
Yeah.
to come to the UK and Europe. Like that's hopefully, I'm really, really hoping something happens. Um, but but yeah, it's been really hard to like process. But it also feels very validating that I'm on
Yeah.
the right path. Yeah.
I'm just so proud of you in your journey.
I'm proud of you. I mean, I like you doing this podcast and putting all this time and energy, and you're so organized and you have like your shit together. Like that's really impressive, dude. Like
Thank you.
we've come out of some really hard stuff. Like grief is no joke. Like
Oh yeah.
grief is, a huge part of my touchstone, like with my songwriting. It's sort of always there,
Mhm.
even when
Oh
I'm
yeah.
writing songs about lesbians. It's
Yes.
always the grief that I lost my brother too young is
Yeah.
always there. And it's like a bittersweetness that I sort of try to infuse in my lyrics and in my instrumentation.
Yeah.
And I know you understand that. And like, no matter what you do, it's like, oh, I wish that, my brother could see this
Oh yeah.
because he'd be so
Definitely.
proud. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I get that.
Yeah. I mean, the whole reason why I'm doing the podcast and interviewing people is because I interviewed him for a project at school, I think. I just interviewed him about like it was like career day or something. And it was like a month before he died. And he was like, You're good at this. You should keep like when you get out of school, you should do
A
something like
month before he died, you interviewed him.
yes. And that's how I know that I'm good at interviewing, and I kept like I'm holding on to that. So yeah.
Oh my God, that's such a gift that he gave you. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
oh
It's
my
okay.
God.
But yeah,
Wow.
grief is always there.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. And in your
Because
writing too, with your poetry.
oh. Yeah, the way I wrote poetry about the cowboy, and it was the guy that broke my heart for the first time, right? And
Yeah.
after I think last summer I was like, wait, I think I'm writing about Tim. I don't I don't even write about the guy. I write about my
Right.
brother.
Yeah, right. Because
Yes.
it sort of is hard to distinguish sometimes, like are you sad about this person leaving you, or are you just sad that people leave, or that
Yes.
people die? And it's like,
Yes.
yeah, yeah, that distinction is is there no matter what you're writing about. And it's
Yes.
weird how deeply grief touches writing, you know?
Mm.
So I read a lot, not right now, but usually I'm a big reader. But
Yeah.
I've read a lot of memoirs, especially about death and grief. And there's this one memoir called The Chronology of Water by
Oh,
what's her name? Let me Google. Oh, Lydia Yuknovich. Chronology of Water is this really great memoir, and I don't want to give it away, but basically, if
yes.
you are interested in reading anything about grief, and it's a really really good one. I would also say "Crying in H Mart" by
Oh,
Japanese
yeah.
Breakfast, Michelle.
I heard that people
That
that
one
it
is
breaks people.
so good. Yeah, you got to be ready. It breaks you for sure, but that's another really good book about grief. Yeah, it's just writing and grief is it's I think there's something very spiritual about the fact that humans want to write and that humans
Yes.
express their feelings through words and through action and Shakespeare,
Mm.
writing those plays and doing these things during like a very primitive time, and the fact that it has lasted so long, the legacy, and that words don't go away, and it's sort of similar like with grief doesn't go away, but also words
Yeah.
don't go away, and so it's like weird how the two like are hand in hand.
Yes. And
Yeah.
I talked with someone, the last episode that I put out was about the writer the eagle, and he talked about how he always wrote about love, and this time he tried to not write about love and then ended up writing
Hmm.
about love. And
Yes.
we talked about it, and I was like, and I said like how it's interesting how that's the main grief, like I try to not write about grief and then I end up writing about it, and we both
Yes.
came to the
Yes.
conclusion of like that's because grief is love. We wouldn't grieve if we wouldn't have loved
Yes.
these people, and it's like
Yes.
it was really eye
That
opening.
Yes, yes, grief is love. It is. It's and being able to view it that way takes sort of the edge off a tiny bit, I think, because
Yes.
it's less like it's bittersweet. It takes the
Yeah.
edge off a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. This is so weird. The timing that we're even having this conversation too is
Yeah.
crazy because tomorrow is his anniversary of his passing, and
Yeah.
it's just yeah, I mean, and it's been 5 years, I guess, since
Also,
2019.
yeah, 5 years.
Yeah, 5 full years.
Wow. I
That
wish
is
I could hug
crazy.
you. I was a
Oh, I
wreck
wish I could
in
hug you
May,
too.
in the fifth, like the fifth year was terrible. So I'm hugging you.
I don't even it's like sometimes I feel it, but most of the time I
Yes.
don't. And so it's like
Yeah.
especially because my career and
You're so
life
busy.
is
Yeah.
so takes up so much of my brain that I have to be really intentional about the time that
Oh
I
yeah.
do grieve, and like I was listening to a podcast. I have no idea. I can't even remember who it was, but I
That's
just
okay.
remember listening to something and them saying that like setting time aside to feel and like setting a mood for yourself to feel because
Yeah.
sometimes it's more challenging for people to feel things in their normal day-to-day lives because we're so busy and our brains are occupied by so many things. And so it's
Yeah.
like you would be intentional about going to see a friend and or hanging out with your lover or whatever. You'd be intentional about doing your
Yes.
laundry or your chores, and it's like but intentionally feeling something. And
Mm.
but that's what music is. I think that's why
Yes.
people love music is because it's that intentional feeling of feelings outside of our normal day-to-day life.
Yeah.
How important that is
Yeah.
for society, you know?
Music is so important. like the way sometimes when I cannot sleep at night because something, something bugs you.
Yes,
And the way
yes.
I know, like, I can just put on music and it will kind of give me, like, help me understand what I'm going through, what I'm feeling, what keeps me awake. And so, yeah.
It allows, it's like I feel like it's like the pipe cleaner.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? You know what I mean? Like you know, get your pipes are all clogged in your house or something because you put hair down
Yes.
the drain or whatever. You have to like put some. It's like that's like kind of what music does. It's sort of just like clears out the the bullshit sometimes.
Yeah.
Um, and as a musician and like now being at a level where I am really busy, I'm not listening to music as much. I find myself
I hear
not
that a lot.
wanting to. Yeah, I find myself not wanting to because it reminds me of I just sometimes it just and it makes me sad. I think like my relationship to music has changed a lot since I became an artist
Mm.
because it's a job.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I can I I used to love um classical music. Like, I was huge, like, I was down for a symphony, Let's sit down
Oh,
22 minutes and listen
I
to it.
love classical music.
Yes.
Totally.
And
Yeah.
I graduated with, like, in classical music, and it totally ruined my relationship to it. So I cannot listen to classical music anymore without starting to analyze the tone changes and
Right.
the the themes, and
It's
oh
hard
gosh.
sometimes. Yeah, but then there's like sometimes there's like something that will take you like sometimes I'll listen to music and it's so fucking good. I can't
Yes.
it takes me out. And I felt that way about Chapel. When I heard
Mm,
Chapel, I
yes.
was like, "Holy fucking shit. This stopped me in my tracks."
Yes.
And be like, "What is going on?" Like, what the actual fuck? Am I alive and this is happening right now? Like, this isn't the 1980s. And, like, you know what I mean? That's how I felt
Yes.
about Chapel. And that's how I felt about, like, I listen to a lot of old 80s music too. And, like,
Yeah.
sometimes and that takes me out of my head a lot. I think sometimes it's hard to listen to modern music because it's like,
Oh.
it's hard. It's hard for me to listen to modern music because without overthinking it and comparing and
Yes.
be like critical. I find myself being critical of other people's music when I hear it versus just being open-hearted to it. Have you watched any westerns?
Oh, I love Clint Eastwood. So,
Oh, good. Okay. I was just making sure because I was about to blow your mind if you hadn't.
okay.
But I'm glad you have. I'm glad you have.
Yes.
Cause that's
Yes.
because that's like the real cowboy, like the
Yes.
way that it's been. Yeah, and I love that. I love it so much. But I love how the gays have taken over cowboy
Yes.
fashion, and it's
Yes.
very much. It's so 80s. It was such a huge
Yes.
80s thing to where like a lot of the alt communities or even just the like basic country in Nashville communities were wearing the most outrageous Western wear. And it was so good. I mean, Dolly Parton, obviously, she's the queen. She's the one who like
Yes.
is everything. Um, she's so inspiring. And I want to have a career like Dolly, not necessarily like have a theme park or anything like that.
Yeah.
I just mean like in the way that she has just remained so true to herself
Oh
and
yeah.
has just written songs and is just an amazing artist. Just like
Yeah.
that's the kind of career I want to have. She's just and then
Yeah.
also all of the advocacy and all of the like donating of money and like yeah,
Yeah.
she's the shit.
Yeah.
I love her.
Honestly. That's interesting because one of the questions I always ask everyone is who is your legend? And so I feel like this is the perfect time.
She's my legend, but also I'm trying to think. I want to think of another. I think Billie Holiday. I think Billie Holiday is actually before Dolly Parton for me because
Yes.
I think I Billie Holiday is hands down my favorite musician, singer, artist,
Yeah.
and that has remained true for me for like all of my
Yeah.
20s. I started listening to her. I like fell in love for the first time in my early 20s, and it was with a man. Um, and I'm a lesbian now, but that was like my first
Yeah.
love. And I remember listening, I was like listening to like jazz because it was like the first time that I was feeling all these feelings and oh my
Yes.
God, which like over a man.
Yeah. No, I get it. I get it.
And so I was listening to Billie Holiday, but then just like throughout my 20s, outside of romantic situation, her music is that bittersweet feeling. I always return like that to me is the best music that is bittersweet, and the and
Yeah.
her
Yes.
voice
Oh my God.
in
Yeah.
my solitude, you haunt me. It's just so like you
Yes.
to know. It's like that's like the it's
Yes.
the ugh. I love her so much. I wish that she had not had such a tragic end to her life, and
Yeah.
I wish that I could have saved her. I don't
No,
know,
yeah.
'cause I love
She's
her
an
so much.
icon.
But she's my legend, and also
Yeah.
Dolly Parton, but more importantly, Billie Holiday, because
Billie
she's the
Holiday.
OG.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. 100%.
Mhm.
Yeah. Nice. Um
Who's your legend?
my
Don't say me.
legend. No. No.
Don't say me. Even though you like my music, don't say me.
Even though I listened to your album 1,000 times.
Yeah. Yeah.
um
Who's your real
n-
legend?
my legend is Roy Orbison. I called
Oh,
myself after him, Bonnie Orbison. That's my artist
wow.
name.
That is so cute. I love that.
So he's my
Wow.
legend. He's my
I love
OG.
that.
He's my Billie
Okay.
Holiday.
Oh my God. Okay, wait. So who would be like more like your modern day legend? Like not me, obviously, even though it seems like I really want you to say me, but don't. I'm saying like more modern day, like 80s on. Who's your
Right.
current like what's your legend in that time period?
Um, I low-key wanted to say Chaperone, but she's like,
Well,
this
you
is just the
should.
beginning. Like
It's
my
just the
kids
but
will
this is the
say,
no, your kids will be like, you were 20 years you'll be like, I was 20 years old when Chapel Rowan became famous, and we're all gonna and you know what? We're all gonna have the fucking merch, and I'm gonna save
yes,
I bought all of her fucking merch because my manager actually was working as like a shopkeeper for
yes.
her merch.
Oh, nice.
Because she does like a well, she's more than a shopkeeper. She does like the event coordination for merch pop-ups in
Yes,
LA.
nice.
So she was able to just like get me a bunch of shit, and so I'm like keeping everything like perfect because I'm like, this is gonna be worth so much money. But like I agree, she's my modern day legend now,
Yes,
and it's because she is just and just we all know it, she's gonna be like Stevie Nicks in the sense that like
yeah,
she will have a lasting impact on music and already
yes,
has.
yes.
Already has.
Do
So
you
I agree.
do you know that I interviewed her 2 years ago? No. Okay. I interviewed her 2 years ago, but it wasn't for the podcast. It was a written interview, and it's still up on my website. But everyone's like, "So you have the audio file? You should drop the episode." And I'm like, "No, I have respect for her." And I told her back then it's just for the written interview, but I interviewed her, and she's
And you
actually
have the audio.
of the audio and the video, but it's mine.
Wait, why wouldn't you release it?
Because back then I did a series of just written interviews, but we still met over Zoom, and
No
I
way.
I especially say in the beginning of the files, I say, "Oh, I just use this for the written interview," and she's like, "Okay,
Okay.
cool," and she was like no makeup, really naturally, and so I wouldn't. I respect her so much that I'm like, no, I would never.
Okay, no, that makes total sense. That
Yes,
makes total
yes,
sense. Wow.
but
Okay, but
yeah,
will you just like go make a TikTok about this though? I'm sure you already have, but
I've
will you
done.
do it
Yeah,
again? Will you do it
yes,
again? Like
yes.
try because like people need to read it. And you can like you were there. You've been there since the beginning, bitch. Get your flowers, you know?
Yes. Yes.
Wow. So you
Yeah.
interviewed her when you were 18.
Yes.
Dude, you're insane. And it's like
I
all because of your brother.
yeah, as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
That
It's
is
life.
so cool. That's beautiful. I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah. But
That's incredible.
I love chapel. And I love that you I remember like I remember seeing a few videos where you kind of got like how did I want to say, like a bit of mean comments because you compare
Yeah.
yourself to chaperone, but I
Yeah,
totally, why not? You know, a lot of artists go
totally.
on the clock app and say, "Oh, I'm sounding like Taylor Swift," and no one is
Yeah.
like,
Right. No, so yeah, that was actually like me starting to do that is what helped my videos start to take off.
"Of course,
And
yeah,
it's literally been like a one-to-one, like Chapel fan has become my fan. Um,
yeah,
and I think, as much as like I wish I didn't have to promote myself online, I'm
mm.
doing exactly what I should be doing and it's working. And I'm not comparing myself to her. I'm I
But
know
you
I'm
say
like
if you
her.
like
I
chaperone,
know
yes,
I'm we're similar artists and
it wouldn't have
it's the
worked.
same
Like people,
world.
yes,
Right,
exactly,
right. If it wasn't true, it wouldn't have worked. And that's the
yes,
thing is I don't give a fuck now. I don't give a fuck because I think even since then my confidence and my security with myself has grown so much. Like if someone wants to get mad about something, like that's their problem, like it's not my problem. What
yeah,
then I heard this quote which is like it's not my problem what somebody else thinks about me.
yeah,
And that has freed me a lot from really caring what the hate comments say. And like I still get them, like, and they make me laugh now because I'm just like, LOL, like it's just so not true, and that's cool. And I'm
yes,
okay. I think I also just I'm like I'm okay if somebody thinks a certain thing about me because I know who I am, and that's all that matters. Is like
yes, hell yeah,
I know who
hell
I
yeah,
am, and the people who are closest to me know who I am. I don't
yes,
really care otherwise. I'm just gonna keep being me. Um, but really, Chapel opened the door for me, and that she is the reason why people are seeing me doing the same thing that I've been doing for the last
yes,
actually 7 years that I've been making this kind of music. And I was not seen as a really like legitimate thing
yeah.
because I don't
The
know.
audience wasn't there. I feel
No, it
like
wasn't they weren't ready yet, It
yes,
was like they
exactly.
weren't ready yet. And whatever Chapel and I were tapping into at those same kind of periods of time, I think it's very much connected. I think that when ideas happen, I don't think an idea is just one person. It's like
Oh
we're
yeah,
all connected to the same kind of source of creative energy. And so it's like,
yeah,
as much as like what we do is very different, it's also sort of rooted in this like same thing, which is this like honoring your inner child and like this very specific Hannah Montana vibe that like we were like both of us were sort of like growing up with. Like it's I don't know, it's
Yes.
so funny. It's like cuz this is what I look like all the time, but like
Yes.
I kind of go into drag a little bit and like do it, and it's just like so funny because we also grew up religious and both from small towns, and it's just like ideas are we're all pulling from a source, and it's
Yes.
beautiful that this is happening right now and that I get to
Yes.
be a part of it even in like a really small way. And so but it's totally like she opened the door for so many people
Many.
even just
Yeah.
beyond me.
Yeah.
And the visibility for lesbians and for
Oh,
queer
yes.
people in music, it's just I got a record deal this year because she was proving
Hmm.
to the record industry that artists like us are what the people want, you know,
Yes.
and that gay people have the best music taste.
Oh, yeah. 100%. 100%. It's actually funny because when I took out some lyrics chunks of the three singles that are already out, like when this
Oh,
episode comes
cool.
out, your new EP, I Really Don't Care, is out.
Yay!
Which, by the way, I've been loving how you, when we talked about hate comments earlier, you sometimes take hate comments and then just stitch them to a video and use your like title track. I love that so much. It's so
Oh
funny.
yeah. So what I've been doing is people will find hate comments and then respond with my video or with my video for I Really Don't Care, which is like you said, the title track.
Yes.
And it's just I really don't care. I
Yes.
really don't care. No. And that's literally it. And it
Yes.
makes me so happy. It makes me so happy to do it because it's
Yes.
so good.
Yes. Yeah. Um,
Oh.
but yeah, I took some lyric chunks of the three singles that are out by the time we're having this conversation, which is Our House. That was the first single.
Yeah.
Then Alabama, and then Take My Phone Away. And in
Yeah.
Our House, you talk about, I mean, it is a very, like, you put it out for Pride Month, like
Yeah.
right before Pride Month, and
Yeah.
it talks a lot about like the queer experience. And
Yeah.
I'm I'm baby bi, but
Just as
um,
valid.
yes,
You're
yes,
also 20 years
um,
old. You are farther ahead than I was when I was 20. So,
thank you. um, but yeah, there's a line that says, "What if I told you there's a paradise here on Earth?" And that really
mm,
reminded me, maybe because when I interviewed Chapel around 2 years ago, we talked about Naked in Manhattan, and that's
mhm.
where she talks about we could go to hell, but I think we'll live.
Mhm.
It's not the correct lyrics, but that's
Hell.
the vibe.
Yeah, we could go to hell or
But I think we're good for tonight,
but
something
I
like
think
that.
we're fine. Yeah, but I think it's
Naked.
fine. I think it's
Oh
fine.
yeah.
I think that's the lyric. And you know what's so crazy is like I hadn't even really I'd only heard her song Casual. When I wrote Our House, I had only heard Casual because that had just kind of come out. And
Yes.
when I did
Oh,
Our
Casual
House
was
and I did
huge. Yeah.
yeah, totally. But that was like the first one. That was the first
Yes.
one that like started. Um I hadn't heard any of her music at all, and then I wrote this song, and then there's, like, the chanting part, and, like,
Yes.
it's just that it just proves that we're from the same planet. Whatever planet she's from, I'm from, because it's just
Yes.
crazy how ideas will happen like that. I think it's really cool, and it's all rooted in, like, queerness too. So it's, like,
Yes.
another level of culture and, I don't know. It's really cool.
Yes. I proved it. It's could go to hell, but would probably be fine.
It's so good. I love that.
Yes. And the equivalent to that is what if I told you there's a paradise here on Earth? I really like that.
Yeah, so it's what if there's a paradise here on Earth? Baby babe, it's you and I. We can make this work.
Yes.
Yeah, That's cute. I love that.
It is a cute
Aw, I
line.
didn't even connect the two.
No, I really, I, well, obviously I've listened to your album 1,000 times. So of course I love you.
Literally 1,000 times.
So I love your lyrics, and gosh, there's so many. Like, is it in? I think it's in 16 where you have a lot of like in Heaven's Justify. You have a lot of like call and response almost,
Yeah,
but you really have to like it. You only like if you just listen to it once, you're not gonna notice it.
right. Totally. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I I love your songwriting. You're cool. You write really cool
Oh,
lyrics.
thank you. I'm really proud of the songs. I'm really proud, and
Yes.
I'm honored that they've touched you the way they have.
First of all, oh my god, when Take My Phone Away came out, so I've but I've kind of gotten into a relationship this summer, and yes, um, I listened. You put a snippet of "Take My Phone Away" into your community, like into your group chat and
Yeah.
Instagram,
Yeah.
and I listened to it, and it was just the line of "I'm calling you 1,000 times. I'm in the bathroom on another date." And I listened to the snippet next to him, and I gasped, and he was like, "Oh, did you like the song?" And I was like, yes, exactly.
Oh
So
my god. Wow. Iconic.
I,
Iconic.
yes, I listened to that song when it came out, and I was like, how like that song just couldn't like I had bottled up the feelings, but that song was like, yeah, you need to address them, and
Oh, well, I'm glad that it made you feel less. I'm glad it
yes,
made you feel less alone, you know?
yes,
Because
100%,
that song I wrote literally 2 months after that really bad breakup, and
yes.
I'm really glad that found you when you needed it
Yeah,
the most.
I mean, it is such a it's such an like universal experience, and I think like I did talk with him about it, but it's like you love like the love you have for someone is individual. Like just
Right.
because you love someone else after that doesn't like it's totally different, and that
It
love for that
is.
other person is still there, and so it's just
Yes.
it will always be there.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the that's the fortunate or unfortunate situation here, but
Yeah. 100%.
yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm calling you 1,000 times in the bathroom on another date. And then also, I think it's in the first verse. It's I want to let you go, but my ego is bruised.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm glad you like that.
Yes, you got me like that. You called me out
Yes.
of the song.
Oh my god, I love it. I love it.
So, yeah, I don't know. Do you want to talk a little bit about Take My Phone Away? Because I feel like this is going to be
Yeah,
the
totally.
song that will get talked less about when the entire EP is out. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, totally.
the underrated song of the EP.
I think that one, so like I wrote it with Justin Tranter, who wrote Good Luck Babe with Chapel, and we did
All
that a couple
right.
years ago. And at the time, he was doing a lot of writing with Chapel, but also with Renee Rapp. And
Oh,
just the fact that we released this song this year with like the lesbian renaissance happening, it just was like beautiful timing. And
yes.
yeah, I mean that one really was like so quick to write because I was working with Justin, and Justin is such a good songwriter, and we just like wrote it literally in like 3 hours. And sometimes great songs are just quick and easy ones
Yes.
you don't overthink.
Yeah.
But no, I was going through some real ass heartbreak and was like having a real ass like
Yeah.
crisis. So yeah, it came out of like a really, really real spot for me. But
Yeah.
yeah, and so I have like a funny relationship with it because of that reason. But I know it's
Yes.
a great song, you know? You can't stop great songs.
No. No, you can. And you also did a very themed because it's called Take My Phone Away. You did a very themed um sort of pop up, but it wasn't really a pop up. But it was
Yeah.
you had a phone in the streets of LA. You asked people to listen to
Yes,
the song. Yes,
I did. My label helped me put that together. Basically, we put the song in an old phone and then like people could come by and
yes,
listen and we filmed. It was really cute and it was just like really, really a cool experience to do something like that because I'd never done like a pop-up or anything like that. And it was super
yes.
cool. It was super, super cool.
And
Very LA. I loved it.
yeah, did just people like, did also like listeners come, or was it just people on the street?
Yeah, yeah. No, there was we put it out online and
Yes,
some fans came by and yeah, it was really cute. It was super, super cute.
that's cool. Well, there are two songs that are not out yet that are coming out literally this
Yes.
Friday. That's insane.
Yes.
It's this Friday when we talk.
I know, there's two more coming and they're like two of my favorites. So I think they're like these are the ones I'm really, really excited for people to hear. One is called I Really Don't Care, like we talked about earlier, and then
Yes,
the other one is called Fly Too Close.
yes.
And Fly Too Close is kind of more of a ballad,
All right.
kind of 80s, like, I don't know. It's very like cinematic and it feels like it's in
Yes.
like a John Hughes movie.
Oh,
It's really
yes.
fun.
Cool.
And then I Really Don't Care is so cunty. I can't wait for you to hear it. Like literally the first line is I started doing my laundry, I started combing my hair, I started taking myself to the bar, but I'm home by 10. I started taking off all my clothes, but now I'm crying in a stranger's bed. Remember when you broke my heart at a La Quinta Inn? That's like the first verse of that song and I
Wow.
love it. I love it. So fun.
Yeah. I feel like he's just gonna call me out with this EP.
I'm
The
gonna.
EP is gonna be like, I'm gonna listen to it and I'm gonna be like, oh, I thought I was over this guy, but okay, whatever. It's
Here
okay.
we go again, baby.
Just gonna put it in the charts of my albums.
You thought I was done. You thought I was done writing songs about your life. Wrong.
Wrong. It's okay. Maybe at the end, because as you said in the beginning, I really love Alabama.
I love Alabama. So Alabama we put out in June or July, and that's one of my favorites too. And the lyrics in
Yes.
that are some of
Oh
my
my gosh.
favorite lyrics I've ever written. Yeah. Albino, Alabama, excuses hold the power. You were a child watching man walk on the moon. A photo of your dad shaking hands with George Bush, rebelled smoking weed in your room. Bleached 80s coiffure, hair like a rocker studded leather over business suits. You were watching the future on a grainy TV on the floor of your parents' living room.
Yes. What
Yeah,
an
I
iconic
love that.
verse.
It's
Yes.
so good. I love that one.
And
I'm proud of the
then,
lyrics on that one.
oh yeah, it's a very, yeah. I listened to the snippets, and then when the song came out, I was like, I think this is Caroline's best lyrics at this point.
Oh, thank you. Thank
Yes.
you so much. I wrote it with Charlie Brand. Well, I wrote a lot of the song. There's actually a slower version of it that I had written before and then we like translated it into sort of this like Bruce Springsteen vibe.
Yes.
Um so I'll try to find the demo version of it and send it to you so you could hear it. Yeah,
Yay.
I'll find it. I'll find it.
Yeah. I and then I think the second verse is though the most iconic. Do you want to?
Oh yeah. White church Sundays, top down through the Wendy's, just a child and I already knew. Brownie ice cream sundaes and sandy baseboard blondies. I was free and I had something to lose. You told me never be a cheater and always love your neighbor, but loving me is something you couldn't do. So I'm sitting with my girl watching grainy TV on the floor of our living room in
Yes.
Alabama.
Iconic. Iconic. The
I love
frame
that one.
structure and like it's I could deep dive analytically into that lyric.
I mean, honestly, like I could just tell you the exact story. It's literally about growing up in Florida,
Yeah.
with my dad, who we don't have a relationship at the moment.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a bittersweet ode to
Yes.
my child self, and also kind of to him, and but also, like being honest about the current state of our relationship, which is
Mm-hmm.
not really great. So,
Yeah.
it's not supposed to be a shitting on my dad song. It's supposed to be a
Yeah.
encompassing all of the parts.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it comes
Yeah.
across. Like it's a very harmonic song. Like you wrote it with a lot of love and harmony.
I
So
did. You're right. You're right. That's really
yeah,
sweet of you to say.
of course. Yeah. Um. Okay. Let me find one last question.
Okay. I love your
um.
questions. My cat is just like, you got to see this.
Your cat's enjoying our.
You
Oh
see this?
yeah. Oh
That's his belly. This is his head.
yes. They're having a good time. Um. Well, I'm honestly just really excited for you.
Thank you, honey. I really appreciate you. And I mean, I'm just trying to hang on. I don't know what's
Yeah,
gonna happen. I don't know. I
I
don't know.
know. I'm
Just
so
hanging
excited
on.
for you though. I always was. I always knew you would you would blow up. Just don't just don't forget me.
I found out that my New York show sold out.
I know.
Bonnie, never, never forget you. You always will have access, okay? Always.
Okay. See, that's happened with Chapel. No hate to her, but it's just her
I
team. I'm
know.
too small
But
for
this
them
is
now.
no, understandable. But also at the same time,
Yes.
who knows? Who knows what will happen?
Yeah,
Like a
exactly.
lot can change for you the more you keep doing this. You don't,
That's very
this
true.
is the thing, like artists want to do interviews like this. And so I
Yes.
think if you just try to keep reaching out to people,
Yeah.
I think really, really good things can happen.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
This is how we end our episode.
I love
um,
it.
just for
Perfect.
me, it's a prayer for
Just for
me,
you.
but also
Exactly.
for you. It's the same sentiment. So
Well, we're doing it. Look at us.
yes,
We're doing it, baby.
we found each other 3 years ago, and here we are.
And here we are today. And you know
Yes.
what? Like we're sisters in writing, and I really feel
Mm-hmm.
that you understand, sort of the like intention behind my songs, and I really appreciate that, and I really love that. Because it's
Thank
always
you.
sort of like people don't really, I mean, like people love lyrics obviously, but
Yeah.
it's just not, you don't always get a chance to like really talk about it. So I really
Right.
appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. Absolutely. Okay, let me start recording.
Okay.
Howdy, enjoyed listening to this episode. You know the gist, you know what to do. Make sure to subscribe and share this episode with all of your friends and leave a review so more people can tune in to my conversations with my legends. This podcast episode is hosted, edited, and produced by Bonnie Orbison. Support her continuous work on her paid Substack, which is like an online diary, and she shares her poetry and lyrical essays on there, or get one of her books. Right now, she has 2 fictional novels in German and English out, and now, as well, a poetry collection called Pretty Tennessee. This podcast is managed by the Queer Lounge, and the theme song is by Evie Solis. Video clips of this episode and anthems of the day on our Instagram at Bonnie's Legends, and we're also sharing from Monday to Friday daily the new music releases, so make sure to check that out. This episode is sponsored by Zencaster. Use my special link in the show notes to save 30% off your first month of any Zencaster paid plan. See you next time.